Good morning. I'm Pete Najarian. This is the Take for Market Rebellion. And let's just look back to that shortened week last week. And I missed you guys on Thursday. So let me make up a little bit of that. When you go back to Wednesday, NASDAQ started off strong. It finished strong. It was up a couple of hundred points. Dow, on the other hand, had a pretty interesting kind of a day, especially the final 10 minutes of the day, where it actually sold off about 70 some odd points. It was only up briefly, but it closed poorly. And that was really something I think that was part of the storyline of what we were seeing, which was everybody says they're getting out of these tech stocks. Well, that hasn't really shown up as much recently. And if you go back to Thursday, again, we had a great start to the day. We traded with 39 million contracts, which really was surprising going into the long weekend that we would do something like that. But open to close, you look at the NASDAQ again, up over 200 points, finished up about 230 points. The Dow started to show a little bit of participation, percentage-wise, not even close, but up about 170 points. So what were some of the drivers? We had energy, we had the semiconductors, we had technology, all of that moving to the upside. And I'll tell you, in the semiconductor space, those semis, you look at the SMH, that's usually what I use as my reference point. And when I look at that, wow, up about 4%. And the day before, Wednesday, up about 3%. We had biotech, it was up about 4%. Those were sort of the areas that were showing a little bit of weakness for the NASDAQ not too terribly long ago. And now we're seeing some of that strength showing up as well. And speaking of strength, how about Friday's job numbers? Well, we weren't open, so a lot of that reaction obviously pushed in and through the weekend. And you look in the pre-market, we looked pretty strong. We were up about 200 points on the Dow. NASDAQ was up decently. It was up about 70 points or so, but you go back to last Thursday, how about the fact that we finally see this S&P actually break and crack through and close above that 4,000 level? Well, it's building now because today, looking at the S&P in the pre-market, yep, it was up. It started to move up a little bit more, 28, 30 points. Last I looked, up about 50 points. We were seeing a little bit less strength actually out of the NASDAQ and a little bit more today out of the Dow in terms of the Dow being up about 340 points. Matter of fact, let me take a really quick look to see if that's holding up. 350 points right now on the Dow, and yet you're looking over at the NASDAQ up about 180 points. So percentage-wise, actually, we're seeing the NASDAQ making a pretty strong move. It was starting to fade, and then it looks like it's been able to recover pretty nicely. Tesla really was the story of the day. If you're always looking for what really stands out for the day, for me, it was Tesla because those delivery numbers for Q1, absolutely extraordinary and blew away what everybody was expecting. So that was a stock that at least early on was up well over 7%, up about 6% as well. But a really, really nice number for Tesla as well. Also, let's add in the controversy, and not so much, I wouldn't say controversy, but President Biden certainly putting out that $2 trillion infrastructure proposal that's out there, looking like Republicans are not too happy about that sort of a size in terms of the numbers that they're looking at there, something far less than that. So that's going to be something that's going to be going back and forth for a while. It's not really affecting the markets, however. And speaking of the markets, volatility index, how about the fact that we are closed on those lows, those 52-week lows? We're down in the teens, staying in the teens. We were in the 17s. Today now we're trading somewhere closer towards that 18 level, a little bit of a lift from there. Energy was something that we've been talking about time and time again, but when we look at energy materials, technology, we look at all these various leaderships and their rotation back and forth, it sure has been a healthy rotation in terms of where we are now. And we are seeing the markets having some pretty nice back-to-back type days. And we'll see if that can hold on. We're only 1 hour into the day. We all know a lot can change. So got a couple of unusuals, and then I got a halftime report, and we've got some unusuals for that as well. So I'm going to start off with Facebook. Now, this one I was going to say for the halftime, but I thought it was just too important. We had to get this out. This was the very first trade that we saw of the day. 10,000 of this week's expiring, the April 9. So this is a very short one once again. So the April 9s, the 305 calls. Now, Facebook FB was trading 303.88 at the time where they were buying these. So we're calling those at the money calls. Certainly they are at the money calls. They paid anywhere between $270 all the way up to about $440 for these as the stock was moving. Obviously, the options are moving to the upside. 10,000 of those trading. They started a little bit lower under 3 and then pushed up, as I say, towards that 440 level in terms of that. Now, we had a couple of different hits in other areas. We talk about the reopen all the time. Airlines, we talk about cruise ships, talk about all these various areas. cruise ships really, really rocking this morning, and a nice move to the upside. And we had Norwegian Cruise Lines, NCLH. Now, that was trading right around 29.80 at the time of the trade, but it was moving a little bit as well. They were buying the April 9s also. We are seeing, I will say this, of the unusuals that we are seeing early on in this first hour or so, a lot of extremely short. This week expiring, a couple that go out maybe to April expiring, but most of what we've seen so far, they're expiring Friday, April 9th. These are expiring Friday on April 9th as well. 3,000 of those were purchased between 45 cents and 75 cents. So as that was moving up, obviously paying a little bit more on the price on that as well. So interesting to see that. The cruise line's definitely showing some unusual option activity, Carnival Cruise as well. So keep an eye on some of that sort of leisure space, if you will, in terms of the reopen and the excitement that people have there as well. Folks, have a great day of trading. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow as well. I will see you this afternoon on the halftime report, so I'll look forward to seeing you then. Take care. Have a great day of trading.